Why do you think it's important to preserve Ram Dass's personal space?
Ram Dass's last 15 years, which is spent here on Maui, I think were very important to him. Um, there were some of his friends who said that he became the man we always we wanted him to be. You know, it's interesting. You can really feel Ram Dass's presence, even to this day in this house. His presence and his energy is still here. On the property, we have various areas. We have, of course, the Hanuman Garden. We have Ram Dass's Loving Awareness Garden, which is very close to that, in the front of the house. We have a little shack where the caregivers meet and talk about spiritual things as well as other things. We have a little meditation shack as well in the garden. Very, very rustic. Actually, it was a horse stall before, prior in its other incarnation. It was Ram Dass who chose the property. He came here, and something about it really, really resonated with him. And when he went upstairs to the study, he thought, oh, this would be a great place for me. So when he saw the study and the view of the ocean, he loved being close to the ocean. Not on the ocean, but close to the ocean. And the view from his study is just magnificent. After Ram Dass died, we had a meeting and decided that, hey, it'd be great to continue Ram Dass's legacy, heart legacy, here on Maui. And the caregivers all got together, and we had a meeting, and it was decided to let's stay here. Let's have this as, you know, his heart space. And one of the first things, we had a meeting, and one of the first things said, well, you know, we should put more gardens in. So the first one we decided to do was the Ram Dass's Loving Awareness Garden. One of the things we decided on was to have a labyrinth. We decided, well, we're gonna have a round one, and it came to us that, hey, we should have a heart-shaped labyrinth. Particularly in Ram Dass's Loving Awareness Garden. Ram Dass was so about the heart. And then we had a ceremony several months ago, and we put some of Ram Dass's ashes. We dug a hole, put his ashes in, and then we bought a mango tree, and his ashes are under a mango tree. Ram Dass loved sweets. I think Ram Dass loved sweets more than anybody that I ever met, even me. On a weekly basis, we have meditations, and also we have chanting, at least, you know, on Sunday, and we generally meet with people out in the Loving Awareness Garden. The Hanuman Garden was, I guess we put that together maybe 13 years ago. And someone gifted us with the Hanuman Murti that is in the garden. And so we try to keep flowers around. There's trees all around it, so it's hard to grow flowers because of the shade. But we try to keep flowers growing by the Hanuman. And he used to love to go out there and just sit and contemplate on Hanuman and Maharaji. He loved the sound of the wind. I don't know, I think maybe it reminded of him Hanuman, right? The son of the wind. Another favorite thing here at the house was he loved to go swimming.
Do you still think about Ram Dass when you swim in the pool?
Every time. every time. Yeah. I, you know, I look at the chair and think of and when he would sit in this chair, what do you call those chairs?
Hydraulic chair?
Yeah, hydraulic chair. He would sit in his hydraulic chair, and he would put his good arm, his good left arm up, and he, what did he say? Yeah, he'd just go like this.
He's riding a horse.
Yeah. Ram Dass really loved it here, and to me, it was amazing that someone who had the physical disabilities that he had, and the infections and this and that, whatever was occurring, he would amazingly just roll with it. It was just, okay, all right. That too. The puja room is a really special place. Now, when I walk in to the puja room, I feel content, and I feel it's just a great feeling. I just feel relaxed and mystical. On the puja table, we have two beautiful urns of ashes. The one is will go in the ocean when the time is right. Probably after COVID, but we'll know when the time is right. And the second one, with a Hanuman painted on the face of it, will be brought to the Hanuman temple, possibly next July, depending on how things are. And there'll be a big celebration for Ram Dass there. Ram Dass was concerned about what was on the puja table. He loved to have photos of various saints, that particularly saints who he felt a connection to. In addition to Maharaji and Siddhi Ma and the Nanda Ma, the Hanuman that is in front of the puja table is a very special Hanuman. Steve Erdalman, who is a partner in Hanuman Maui, he commissioned this Hawaiian fellow to make this Hanuman, which is, Steve wanted it to have the Hawaiian influence, since that's where we were. And the fellow didn't know about Hanuman when he took the commission, but he got so into it. Something came over him when he was doing it. And it was, interestingly enough, it's made of monkey pod. I love being in the puja room and looking at the portrait that Jeremy did that's above the puja table, and looking into his eyes. And if I have any concerns or uncertainty about anything, I look into his eyes and I get my answer. When I go up into his study, I feel him quite profoundly. His most favorite thing would be to sit in his reclining chair, which faced the ocean, and just sit there and contemplate. He would contemplate the universe. He could do it all day long. He would sit there and he would look at the clouds and the formation of the clouds, and look at the ocean, and it was just magic for him. And he has his library was right next to where the chair was, and he'd always have a big stack of books. During the last decade of his life, Ram Dass started to cultivate loving awareness and the practice of loving awareness. And he just resonated with it so much. I remember him saying, the practice is to love everything. Not only everybody, but everything. Take your, move out of your mind and move down into your heart. And he developed that, as I said, about 10 years ago or so, and then he just continued to work on it. And I think he truly became loving awareness. Ram Dass was asked during one of these times when he was close to death if he was ready to go. And he said, after he thought a bit, he said, no, I still have people that I want to share Maharaji with. His presence is, as I mentioned before, is still here. And I think that perhaps his last decade and a half, he even said, were the most content that he ever had. And he would be joyful just taking a dip in the pool. He would be joyful just sitting there looking at the clouds or visiting with somebody. He just really seemed to be happy here. And his presence is still here. I think it's very important for other people to experience that. People of all generations and going forward. It's, this was a very important place for Ram Dass.
What would you say to him now?
If Ram Dass was here now, I would say, I love you. You are loving awareness. Thank you for everything you've done for everybody. You had a beautiful incarnation. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good.